Hey there, friend. If you've clicked on this video, chances are, your heart is carrying something heavy. Maybe you're living through one of the hardest chapters life can hand us, the loss of the one you've shared a lifetime with. Or maybe, you're preparing for something you pray never happens, but deep down, you know someday it might. Losing a spouse isn't just about grief. It's like losing a part of yourself, the person who knew your story from the inside out. The one who finished your sentences, who held your hand through doctor visits, birthdays, kids, grandkids, all of it. And now, without them, the world feels quiet, different, and honestly, kind of scary. But here's the thing, you're not alone in this. Not now. Not here. I end this video, I'm going to walk with you, like a trusted friend would, through the 6 most important things every senior must do after their spouse passes. This isn't about just getting through it. It's about surviving in the deepest sense, emotionally, financially, physically, and spiritually. Let's start with the first and maybe the most personal part of this journey, facing the silence and finding your footing. Section 1, the emotional earthquake, naming what hurts. Grief isn't neat. It doesn't follow a straight line. And for those of us over 60, losing a spouse can feel like a second kind of retirement, one we never asked for. You wake up, and the bed is colder. The coffee doesn't taste the same. Their voice, the one that used to call from the next room, is gone. The silence isn't peaceful. It's deafening. Psychologists say that losing a spouse is one of the most stressful events a human being can endure, ranked even higher than losing a job or being diagnosed with a chronic illness. And for seniors, that loss can shake the very foundation of your identity. Here's the truth, and I want you to hear this with your heart wide open. You are allowed to feel it all: the sadness, the anger, the confusion, even the guilt for being the one left behind. There is no wrong way to grieve. According to the American Psychological Association, grief often brings what's called complicated bereavement in older adults, where the mourning process takes longer and runs deeper than expected. That's not weakness. That's love. That's memory. That's a lifetime of shared moments. And now, the echoes left behind. So, what do you do when it feels like the ground has disappeared from under you? You don't try to pretend you're okay, you don't tell yourself to move on or be strong for the kids. Instead, you do something brave. You allow the grief, let it out in tears, in prayers, in long walks, or whispered conversations with their old sweater still hanging in the closet. Cry if you need to. Scream if you must. But feel it. Because pretending you're okay won't make the hurt go away, but being honest about your pain can start the healing. Section 2, reaching out, why isolation is the hidden danger. Now, let's talk about something that sneaks up on many seniors: loneliness. After your spouse passes, you may find yourself shrinking your world. You stop calling friends. You skip church. You eat dinner alone. You think, no one really gets it, and you start pulling away. But here's what researchers at Harvard have found: loneliness in seniors isn't just sad, it's dangerous. It increases your risk of heart disease, dementia, depression, and even early death. That's why the first thing you must do to survive is this: build a new circle, not to replace your spouse, no one ever could, but to remind you that you're still alive, and still worthy of connection. Here's where to start: call one friend today. Just one. Even if it's been months. Even if you don't know what to say. Just say, "I miss you." Find a grief group, at your church, local senior center, or even online. You'll be surprised how comforting it is to talk with others who really get it. Say yes to small invitations: coffee, a walk, a lunch. You don't have to feel ready. Just be willing. You were never meant to carry this weight alone. Section 3, the gentle power of routine, holding on when life feels chaotic. When your spouse dies, life feels like it's come undone. The days blur. The nights stretch long. You might forget to eat. You skip showers. You lose track of what day it is. That's not laziness. That's grief. But one thing that can help, even in the smallest way, is this: create a simple routine. Why? Because routine brings structure. It brings rhythm. It gives your body and brain something to hold onto when everything else feels like it's falling apart. Try this: wake up at the same time each day. Open the curtains. Let the light in. Eat regular meals. Even if it's just toast and tea. Your body still needs fuel. Move your body. A walk around the block, stretching in the living room, whatever you can do. Choose one task a day. Water the plants. Write a letter. Organize a drawer. Something small. Something doable. It's not about being productive. It's about telling your brain, I'm still here. I'm still alive. And I'm still moving forward, even slowly. Section 4, Memory Anchors, Keeping Their Spirit Close Without Losing Yourself. Here's something you might struggle with, and I want to talk about it gently. What do you do with their things? Their clothes. Their toothbrush. The chair they always sat in. There's no rule. No timeline. Some people clear things out within weeks. Others leave them untouched for years. The key is this: do what helps your heart breathe easier. But if the sight of their slippers brings you to your knees every morning, it might be time to create a memory anchor. A memory anchor is something you intentionally keep: a photo, a favorite shirt, a piece of jewelry that holds their presence, so you don't feel like you're trying to erase them. Place it somewhere special. Light a candle next to it. Talk to them. Pray. Sit in silence. Whatever brings comfort. And remember, you don't have to let go of them to move forward. Love like that never dies. Section 5, Writing It Out, Why Journaling Can Be a Lifeline. This might surprise you, but putting pen to paper can do something incredible for your heart. Studies show that seniors who journal their grief feel more connected, more peaceful, and more in control. You don't have to be a writer. Just be honest. Try this tonight. Write them a letter. Tell them what you miss. What you're scared of. What you wish you could say. Write to yourself. Dear me, I know this hurts. But I'm proud of you for getting out of bed today. There's something sacred about getting your feelings out of your chest and onto a page. It makes the pain feel a little less heavy. A little less lonely. Closing the chapter, gentle encouragement. So, my dear friend, if your spouse has passed, or you're walking with someone who's facing that loss, I want you to remember this: you are stronger than you feel, you are not alone, and you are still deeply, unshakably loved. This first chapter was all about grounding yourself emotionally after the loss, not just surviving, but honoring your grief and protecting your heart. In the next chapter, we'll gently move into the practical steps, the legal, financial, and health decisions that need attention, even when your heart feels like it's breaking. But for now, breathe, make yourself a cup of something warm, and if all you did today was watch this video, that's enough. If you're here for chapter 2, it means you're walking the road of grief, but you're also ready to face what comes next. And I want to start by saying, you're doing incredibly well. Just by showing up, you're already taking brave steps forward. I'm proud of you. Now, I know this part might feel overwhelming. In the middle of all the emotional pain, the last thing anyone wants to do is deal with paperwork or talk about money. It might feel cold, like it doesn't belong in the same room as your loss, but here's the truth: tending to the practical things isn't disrespectful. In fact, it's a form of love, for yourself, for your future, and for the family who cares about you. So in this chapter, we're going to go through the second major thing you must do when your spouse passes: handle the legal, financial, and medical essentials that no one really talks about until you're in the thick of it. I'll guide you slowly, step by step, just like a friend sitting beside you at the kitchen table. Let's take this one piece at a time. Section 1, the most important documents. What you need, what you do first. The very first thing you'll need to do is gather key documents. These will help you prove identity, claim benefits, close accounts, and handle insurance. Here's a simple checklist to start with. The death certificate. This is essential for almost everything. You'll need multiple copies, at least 10 to 15. You can request them through the funeral home or your local health department. Marriage certificate, especially important for claiming Social Security or veterans benefits. Will or living trust. If your spouse had one, locate it right away. If you can't find it, check with their lawyer or the probate court. Insurance policies, life, health, auto, home, all of it matters. The beneficiary information and policy numbers are important. Bank and investment account details. Look for statements, checkbooks, or online login info if you have it. Titles and deeds. This includes your home, cars, or any property. If this list feels like a mountain, that's okay. You don't need to do it all in one day. Just start with the death certificate. That's the gateway to everything else. Section 2, Social Security. What you need to know now. Next, let's talk about Social Security. This is one of the most important financial steps, especially for seniors. If your spouse was receiving Social Security benefits, you may be eligible for survivor benefits. These benefits can help provide income to support you, but you must contact the Social Security Administration directly to apply. Here's what to do. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to your nearest Social Security office. You cannot apply for survivor benefits online. This must be done over the phone or in person. Bring the death certificate, your spouse's Social Security number, your marriage certificate, and your own ID. Here's something a lot of people don't know: you may be entitled to up to 100% of your deceased spouse's benefit, depending on your age and situation. If you're already receiving your own Social Security, you might be able to switch to the higher amount. Don't assume, ask. This step could make a huge difference in your monthly income. Section 3. Your home and property. Changing titles and ownership. If your spouse's name was on your home, your vehicles, or other property, it's time to start updating ownership. This step is often delayed because it feels so permanent, but it's essential. Here's what usually needs to happen. Real estate. If the home was owned jointly with right of survivorship, the title usually passes to you automatically. Still, you'll need to update the deed at your county clerk's office. Vehicles. Go to your local DMV to transfer the car title into your name. Bring the death certificate, the old title, and your ID. Bank accounts. If you had joint accounts, these may already be yours. But if your spouse had individual accounts, you'll need to present legal documents, like the will and death certificate, to close or transfer them. This process can feel legalistic and cold. But here's a tip: take someone with you. A child, a neighbor, or even a friend from church. You don't have to do this alone. Having someone at your side, even just for moral support, makes a huge difference. Section 4. Life insurance. How to claim it, what to watch for. If your spouse had life insurance, this could provide financial support, but it doesn't happen automatically. Here's what to do. Locate the policy. This might be a paper copy or digital. Look for it in files, safe deposit boxes, or emails. Call the insurance company. Use the number listed on the policy. Ask what documents are needed to file a claim. Be prepared to provide a certified death certificate, proof of your identity, a completed claim form. Here's a gentle warning: some companies may try to delay payment or make it confusing. Don't let them. Be persistent. If you feel stuck, ask a family member or even an attorney to help advocate for you. This is money your spouse set aside to protect you. You deserve to receive it, without stress or shame. Section 5. Updating your will, insurance, and emergency plans. Now that your spouse is gone, your own documents may need updating too. Think of this as setting up the next stage of your life, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Here's what you should review: your own will or trust, update beneficiaries, executors, and instructions, healthcare directive or power of attorney. If your spouse was your medical or financial power of attorney, name someone else you trust, a child, a sibling, or a friend. Life insurance policies and retirement accounts. Update the listed beneficiary. If it's still your spouse, it needs to be changed. These are the things no one wants to talk about. But you'll feel lighter, more at peace, once they're done. And remember, you're not doing this because you're giving up. You're doing this because you're choosing to live forward, even while honoring the love you lost. Section 6. Don't let scammers in. Protecting yourself. Sadly, seniors who have just lost a spouse are often targeted by scammers. They read obituaries. They call pretending to be banks, debt collectors, or even the IRS. Here's how to protect yourself: never give personal info over the phone to someone you don't know. If someone says you owe money, hang up and call the company directly. Shred sensitive documents. Talk to someone before signing anything. If it feels pushy or urgent, that's a red flag. Here's my favorite rule: when in doubt, don't do it, and don't do it alone. Run it by a trusted friend, your adult children, or a financial advisor. Closing the chapter. A breath of relief. That was a lot. I know. If your mind feels full, if your chest feels heavy, just know that's okay. You've just taken in a mountain of information, and you didn't run from it. That's courage. This chapter wasn't about numbers and documents. It was about protecting your future. Giving yourself the structure and peace of mind that lets you breathe a little easier again. In our next and final chapter, we'll turn towards something just as important, but often overlooked: rebuilding your identity and finding meaning again. Because when someone you love dies, the hardest question becomes, who am I without them? And the beautiful truth is, you are still you, and you still have so much life, love, and purpose ahead. But for now, take a break, stretch, drink some water, and remind yourself, I am doing my best, and that is more than enough. You've walked through the raw pain of grief, you've faced the hard responsibilities that come with loss, and now, you're standing in a space that's often the most uncertain of all: what comes next? You see, no one really prepares us for this chapter of life. When you lose your spouse, the person who shared your bed, your coffee, your worries, and your laughter, the world doesn't just feel emptier, it feels unfamiliar. You look in the mirror and ask, who am I now? You wake up and wonder, what am I waking up for? And those questions, they're not signs of weakness. They're signs that your heart is still alive, still searching, still ready to write a new chapter, even after everything you've been through. So today, we're going to talk about the final two most important things every senior must do to survive, and not just survive, but live again, with hope, purpose, and peace. Let's walk this road together. Section 1. Reclaiming your identity. You are still here. When you've been part of a couple for decades, your identity becomes intertwined. You were someone's husband, someone's wife. You built a life as a team, and now, that part of you feels cut off. Like a limb missing. But here's what I want you to remember, and I hope these words sink deep: you are still you, your essence, your soul, your light. You existed before you were married, you grew within that marriage, and now, you get to rediscover who you are outside of it, not in spite of your love, but because of it. You are still allowed to laugh again, make new friends, travel somewhere you've always dreamed of, learn something new, reconnect with who you were, and who you are becoming. None of this dishonors your spouse's memory. In fact, it honors the life they loved, your life. Think about it this way: if they were here right now, wouldn't they want you to keep living? To keep growing? To smile again, even if it takes time? So take small steps, try something you haven't done in a while, a walk in the park, a painting class, a new recipe. Let yourself be surprised by the things that still bring you joy, because joy and grief can live in the same heart, and both are welcome. Section 2. Discovering a new purpose. Why you still matter so much. You've raised your family. You've worked hard. You've loved deeply, and now, with your partner gone, it's easy to feel like your purpose left with them. But let me say this clearly: you still matter. Your wisdom, your kindness, your stories, your smile. The world still needs you, just as you are, right now. Purpose doesn't have to be big or flashy. It doesn't mean starting a business or climbing a mountain. Purpose might look like babysitting your grandkids and teaching them your old songs, volunteering at the library or animal shelter, being a friendly face to someone else who's lonely, writing your story, even if no one else reads it but you, praying for others, calling old friends, being present. You are not just getting by. You are still living, and every single day you choose to keep going is a small miracle. Let that be your purpose: to live with grace, even in the ache.to. Love yourself gently.to. Show others that life after loss can still be meaningful. Section 3. Building a new life without forgetting the old one. There's a lie we sometimes believe, that moving forward means forgetting. But that's not true. You're not leaving your spouse behind. You're carrying them forward with you, in your heart, your memories, your love. The beautiful thing about love is that it doesn't expire. It evolves. It grows into something quieter, something softer, a warm whisper that follows you wherever you go. So, how do you build a new life while honoring the old? Try this: create a memory ritual. Light a candle on special days. Make their favorite meal on their birthday. Speak their name, tell their stories to your kids, your grandkids, your friends. Keep their spirit alive through your words, include them in your prayers. Talk to them in your quiet moments. Let their memory be part of your healing. You're not replacing them. You're continuing, and love, real love, always continues. Section 4. Relearning joy. Letting the sun back in. Grief has a way of closing the blinds. Everything becomes gray. Days blur. Smiles feel forced, but over time, and it does take time, a little light starts to peek through. A song on the radio. A neighbor's laugh. The smell of fresh coffee on a rainy morning. And when that happens, when joy starts knocking on your door, I want you to do something brave. Let it in. Let yourself laugh again, without guilt. Let yourself feel peace, even for a moment. Let yourself live in color again. You are not betraying your spouse by feeling happiness. You are honoring the love you shared by choosing life. Section 5. The power of connection. Why you still deserve community. One of the hardest parts of widowhood is the loneliness. People mean well. They bring casseroles. They call for a while. But eventually, the world moves on, and you're left wondering who's still there. So here's the next step in healing. Find your people, not to replace what you lost, nothing can, but to remind you that you are still connected to something bigger than yourself. Look into local senior center support groups for widows and widowers, church groups, or small book clubs, online communities for older adults, volunteering where your heart feels at home. You might feel shy or unsure. That's okay. Just try one new thing. Go once. See what happens. Connection is how we heal, and you deserve to be surrounded by people who see you, hear you, and hold space for you, exactly as you are. Section 6. Your next chapter. It's not too late for a new beginning. Let me ask you something simple, and I want you to really think about it. What have you always wanted to do, but never had the time for? Learn to play piano. Visit a small town you've always loved. Start a garden. Write your memories into a book for your grandkids. This chapter, this season of life, is not the end. It's a quieter, slower, more reflective chapter, yes, but it's also a chance to write something beautiful with the time you still have, not because you've forgotten what came before, but because you've lived through it. And now you get to decide what comes next. Even after loss, even with a heart that aches, you still have stories to tell. You still have days worth waking up for. Don't let anyone, not even your own doubts, tell you otherwise.